Fantastic morning. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Kelly Chiasson here, your host for this morning's very special interview and author lead with Landed for Success. And it's absolutely my pleasure to introduce to you, even though you've already met him, it's all right. Reintroductions are good. I am joined here by our amazing co-founders here at Landed for Success, Mr. Gordon and Mr. Jey Jeyakanthan. And we are, we're always excited, but I will tell you it's a little extra special today because we are 1 week away from Landed for Success's first book launch, Untold Stories. It is taking place next Tuesday, May 4th, at May 4th, today's May 4th, May 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so we're going to spend a little time with Jey and Gordon here and let all of you hear from these gentlemen exactly how we got to be where we are today and why. So good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for hopping on here with us today.
Good morning, Kelly. Amazing. Author lead Landed for Success.
This is a big deal, you guys. So I'll let you two can decide. Well, let's go with Jey. Jey, for you, and Gordon too. Then you two can chime in. What about this platform, when you two were first coming together, why was it important to have an authorship aspect that Landed for Success was going to get behind and bring to the world?
That's amazing, Kelly. Like, I need to go back to the early stage. Like, I know Gordon for many, many years, more than 10 years, and I have attended his events, like whether it's Business World Summit or all the other collaboration that he has involved with. So Gordon and I have been, we have been having chat like in the previous years on and off, that we wanted to do a collaborative book to document people's untold stories. As a matter of fact, I'm just jumping ahead, Landed for Success gave birth from the authorship of this collaborative book launch. So the first, when Gordon and I came together, our first vision or mission, whatever you want to call it, was to document and bring out the untold stories of the circle that we were involved in. Because that's, even though Gordon have a different circle and I'm part of a different circle, but our mutual common circle was big enough. Like, it was so closely knit, and I am super excited. And the team, amazing team, like Kelly, you and the rest of the team coming together, and we are officially launching it on May 11th. And the learning curve for me, as the first book collaboration, it was amazing working with you all. So I'm excited, and I'm letting my friends and family, on behalf of the entire team, it's happening. May 11th at 10 o'clock, we are launching Landed for Success Untold Stories. And there's so many things I cannot give out because there is a big process involved. It's going to be amazing. So I'm going to encourage, before I pass it on to Gordon, because he have a lot of stories to share, it is about a collaborative, not only collaborative, we speak at our networking events. It's a very inclusive platform. So that came from the collaborative book. Like maybe later I'll get into where the authors are from, the countries our author represent. We have 18 authors, but if you know the continent that we represent, I think there's only one or two. Antarctica and is the only one that is left. I guess.
The North Pole.
Don't quote me on that. No, I think we need to get Santa on the next book. Then we are pretty much covered globally. Anyways.
Yeah, really, that would be like stocking stuffers for, like, that would be global. No one would top Landed for Success. We get Santa on board.
Exactly. So yeah, Gordon, I want to hear from you, and I just gave the nutshell, but we'll get into the nitty-gritty detail in the coming times.
That's amazing, Jey. And I was listening to you, and then I was sharing to as many people as I can this little conversation we're having right now. So yeah. So Kelly, thank you for making this happen. Like Jey mentioned that, what I love about Landed for Success coming together is, Jey and I have been friends for, like you mentioned, for over 10 years, where we had this I would say kind of like a casual friendship business relationship, right? We would have an event. I remember we would have a Business Wow Summit in Mississauga. We would have a Business Wow Summit in Etobicoke. We would have a Business Wow Summit in Toronto. We have a business, everywhere we had a Business Wow Summit, I saw Jey show up. Like, who is that masked man, right? We would have Empower Women Succeed. We would have a Toronto Women's Expo, and there's Jey. We're down at the NYC Yacht Club, and there's Jey, right? Like every
It's
time
everywhere.
we would have an action think tank, Bayview Golf and Country Club, right? Mississauga Golf and Country Club, Oakville Golf and Country, wherever there was a golf and country club, we were doing action think tanks, and there's Jey. I had never met an individual so humble that would just show up. Now, if you guys know Jey, like, look, when you get, I don't want to give away his story, because when you read his story, right, the accolades he already has achieved, the charities that he supports, him being a board member on so many different amazing platforms, and I would see Jey show up, and he would never ask for anything. We would have VIP tickets. We would have VIP seating. He would never ask for it, but he would always show up, and he would always invite people. For example, my friend Kula. That's how I met Kula. It was through Jey. That's how I met Akil. It was through Jey, one of our authors. And that's how I met Ravi. It was through Jey. So I wanted to share that, because Landed for Success isn't just about stories of individual. Hey, I succeeded and now I'm here. Look at me, look at me. Because Jey had success, but he didn't show up and say, look at me. And so one day he said, hey, Gordon, would you like to be a speaker at the Chamber of Commerce, at the Tamil Chamber of Commerce? I'm like, me? Like, you want me? Like, you've got like so many people you could pick. And so we've been running in different circles. Kelly, we've been running in different circles, but supporting each other at various different events. And then, timing. I just believe in life, everything is timing, 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 right? Because I came from the real estate industry where somebody said, what's the 3 keys to success in real estate? They'll say location, location, location. Well, as somebody in the real estate industry, I don't believe that. I believe timing, timing, and timing is everything. In real estate, I've seen people with the worst properties in the best of times sell it and make a fortune. And I've seen individuals with the best properties in the best locations during the worst of times lose everything they have. So majority, it's timing, timing, and timing, and timing. So if somebody asks, like, why and how did Landed for Success come together? There's so many different reasons, but I think it was just timing, timing, and timing. So for Jey and I, the timing was just right for us to come together. And it started out, like Jey said, it wasn't all the stuff that we have today with the events and the seminars and the workshops that we have and we're looking at having, but it's just started out with one simple idea of how can we get a collective of individuals who have stories of their resilience, stories that they can share inside a collaborative book together.
That's a big deal. And I like saying that it's a big deal because it is. I've heard, we all have, I'm sure you gentlemen have as well, individuals that say, okay, I've come to this point and this just made sense. Whereas you two have talked about this before. This isn't the first time this has come up for me. For some of our viewers, for some of you plugging in, yeah, maybe this is your first time hearing this. But these gentlemen, you've talked about how you've been connected for years, and your love of stories and the passion that you have for people being able to participate in a space where they can share their story with the world and gift that level of empowerment to individuals was important for you. And that is why I really do feel that this is a big deal. I think it's fantastic. I think the fact that the two of you as immigrants saw the value in being able to talk about your experiences for others to relate to and be able to make some decisions or shifts in their mindset with how they feel about where they are growing, where they want to grow, and invite other people to do the same. But understanding that some individuals with the Landed for Success platform, it's all about communities. How can we impact lives? You know, one neighborhood at a time, one community at a time, one business at a time, one country at a time. That's not just around immigrants, it's around everybody. Everybody has different spaces. So everyone has a story. Everyone's going to have their experience of what it is to land on success.
Absolutely.
So you really stretched it and embraced and welcomed everyone to come in and participate with sharing their experiences of how they've landed for success.
Absolutely.
Yes.
How are your, for this, let's see, we just hosted our 14th virtual speed networking event last Thursday evening, which is amazing. So we are going into our 15th month of what the two of you gentlemen have brought together and made a reality. So in these months, your relationships with our phenomenal authors. Oh, I love our authors. They make my heart smile so much. How have you two been affected by what our authors are going to be sharing without giving anything away? Not that you would. How has that moved you over the last 15 months? And how has the authorship that you guys have put together affected or impacted your choices for how you want to continue to grow the Landed for Success platform?
Amazing, Kelly. Let me answer that. This was I was alluding to earlier. That's an amazing question, and actually, it's really touched me, Kelly. Before that, I'll tell you some stats and fact. Like I said earlier, we have about 18 authors. Our authors' success story is phenomenal. Like the industries that they represent. We have engineers, civil engineers. We have business professionals. We have entrepreneurs. We have people who have ran a multi-million-dollar corporations. And the other thing is what is beauty about what happened with on the first book itself was the diversity and the country they represent. We have authors, because I don't want to tell the story, like I said, because there's an interview coming with them. So I'm not going to get into the detail of them, but I think I can say that we have authors from Mexico, UK, we have from US, Canada, like all over the place. And like you said, it's a very diverse group, and their heart and the power. I'll give you one example. Like this is very close to you, because I'm a little biased because I'm a LinkedIn guy. Because we have, like, when we started Landed for Success, we were always focusing on Facebook. At some point, as a team, let's expand on social media. So this is very important that I'm documenting this. Is one of our author, Eric Chiasson. When we published him as an author, we are introducing him on LinkedIn. It literally blew up. You know why it blew up? Because of the power of his story and the power of what he has bring to the table. So what I mean by it is, like, as a group, as a collaborative community, one person can make a difference. Like I'm just saying a very small tidbit because I'm not going to go into their story side of things. I'm just sticking to the stats side of things. One person, a business professional, can make your community, and they can literally take it to the next level. And what I'm talking about is not out of air. It's just factual thing that what we are experiencing. So what I'm trying to say, Kelly, is like the group of people or the individuals that they are coming from different countries, different professionals, different cultural background, coming together, literally landing on one platform and to share their success story and share their untold stories for rest of the world. If that makes sense to you, Kelly.
It absolutely does. Gordon?
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Jey just said in terms of Eric. I mean, Kelly, you're humble about this right now because Eric is your husband, right? So when Jey posted, the team posted Eric information on LinkedIn. Well, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, it looks like a grade 2 student put it together for me. Not to knock a grade 2 student, it's terrible. I don't use LinkedIn.
Gordon?
Right? But Jey is amazing when it comes to LinkedIn. When he told me that Eric had over 5,000, was it 5,000 views?
Yeah, it's surpassed over 5,000.
So 5,000 on LinkedIn is equivalent to 50,000 in Facebook. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's incredible. So some of our authors, they just want to share their story because they know their story is going to inspire somebody else. And I don't know, I'm just talking third party now. And then some of our authors, they want to share their story so they could be positioned as a author as well, a published author. So instead of writing an entire book, right, you could be an author in a chapter, and that also brings credibility. But think of the exposure in the marketing. Like, the next 2 weeks, I believe our authors would get $10,000 to $20,000 of the marketing for free, right? So that one piece alone, where over 5,000 people viewed it, what if one individual, one contact, say, hey, can we do business together? And you just don't know who's watching because people say, oh, come on. You guys are just launching your book on Amazon. That sucks. I literally have friends of mine tell me and try to diminish individuals that work hard in writing the story, writing the book, and put it on Amazon. Kelly, you put a smile on my face when you said someone, on that LinkedIn, I'm not there. That's a power of networking now on a platform. You were sharing that someone said to Eric, oh, I think I know Gordon because I play ball hockey with him.
Yeah,
sure enough, I do know this individual, right? One of the best players in our league and very, very humble. So we just don't know what's going to happen. But going back to immigrants for a minute, that's why I have this background. This is a picture of Hong Kong. I was born there. If you get a chance to look it up on Google, it's called Diamond Hill. Now, Kelly, what is a girl's best friend? A girl's best friend is, what is it?
Well, the song says diamonds.
Diamonds, right? So they
Yeah.
say a diamond is a girl's best friend. I can promise you that where I grew up, called Diamond Hill, they're not roads paved for diamonds. If you look up in Google, and I didn't talk about this in my book, but squatter homes back in the 60s. So when people escaped China and went to Hong Kong, they stayed in squatter homes. And many of us who are immigrants have, stories of places back home where we have families who lived in squatter homes. There was no running water. And so today, so pardon the expression, when someone says you don't have a pot to piss in, well, we actually had a pot because that was our bathroom, right? We didn't have running water. And my mom, as a single mom, raised the 5 of us by herself because my dad was, working overseas and trying to provide for the family. How many of us can relate to that where, we had a single parent having to look after us, maybe while another parent, maybe they're not even overseas, they're working 3 to 4 jobs. Can anyone relate to that? Right? They come home, they have another part-time job. They go home, they go drive a taxi. They come home, they do something, right? And so that's kind of how we initially thought, hey, let's talk about stories. I have an immigrant story. Jey's got an immigrant story. And then Samantha Glass came along. And Samantha said, wait a minute, guys. I'm not an immigrant, but I have a story. And that kind of opened the door for, you don't have to be an immigrant, right, to have a success story. And then Pamela Geiger came along. And she's got a story of Landed for Success. But so when you combine it all, you get Judith, who has an amazing story. I mean, when you read her story, man, when I read her story, like, wow, she's a superhero, right? What she had to do to, you know, and again, I don't want to give her story away, but what she had to do to immigrate here to Canada, and now the successes that she's enjoying. So I hope, you know, when folks read the book, and I hope you do, if you could do us a huge favor, your favorite authors, right, that are in there, if they're your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your best friend, whoever the authors are, do them a huge favor. Not only go and buy a copy yourself, tell 2 or 3 friends that you know to go and buy and read their story. And not only just buy the book, but read it, you guys. Read it, even if you just read their chapter, right? Just read their chapter and then give them a 5-star review on Amazon. And if you're not ready to give them a 5-star review, don't give them anything, right? We'll give them an honest review. And if you give them anything less than a 5-star review, I know where you live. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding on that, right? But does that make sense? The stories are so amazing. So stories of immigration, people who have immigrated here to Canada, as well as folks that are not immigrants, but they've had gone through challenges, obstacles, resiliency, whatever it is for them to be where they are today. And I'm so proud of every one of them. The authenticity. It's hard. It is really hard to share your story, because that's why this is the first book out of all the series I have put together. This is the first time that I'm actually sharing my story. And I'm like, oh my goodness, will anyone even like my story? Right? And yeah, that's
just it. I tell whether it's Gordon's story, Jay's story, in any story, in any book,
yes,
there's one person somewhere in the world that has been asking for that story.
yes,
And they need to hear it. They need to read it. And that's it. It is quite literally the gift that keeps on giving. I was very honored when Jey and Gordon invited me to step in as the author lead. I'm very impassioned for people sharing their stories. I've been more than moved with our family's move here and being introduced to Gordon and to Jey and all the incredible authors, their experiences, simply because of the cultural diversities. And it's just, I'll never, ever, ever stop being amazed and have my heart just moved when I get to hear other people's experiences. That the thread that is woven among all of us in the fabric of our humanity is just, it's necessary to be able to recognize it and acknowledge it and feel it. And it's hard to feel it if we don't talk about it. It's hard to feel it if individuals aren't gifted a space to do that. And I know these 2 gentlemen, Mr. Gordon and Mr. Jey Jeyakanthan, for authors to have co-authorship experiences, it is a lot of times a very hefty investment, which is fine. Like, you know, that's fantastic. But what about all the individuals that would like to make an investment, but something that's palatable, where they can still have that experience of being empowered by lifting someone up just from sharing their story? And I don't mean just in a minimalistic way. I mean, just as, I just want to share my story. Why would I need to go take out a second mortgage to do it?
yes.
So there is a lot of gratitude that a lot of individuals have had with this first co-authorship experience here with Landed for Success, and already the authors that are saying yes and coming into the second experience of co-authorship with Landed for Success.
Yeah, Kelly, I think we're sold out for book 2. Are we sold out for book 2?
We're pretty close to it. There are very limited spots left. So definitely for those of you that are like, well, what? There's a book? If this is a news flash, that's awesome. And if you're like, I want to share my story, please reach out
Absolutely.
to Gordon, Jey, or myself. We'll have that expanded conversation with you. It's all fun. And
Amazing.
it is fun. I mean, it's
Yes.
serious. We're serious about the stories. It's serious. The experiences being shared are serious. But it
Yeah.
is fun when you get to lift and touch people's hearts just from being human
Yeah.
and just sharing experiences. So I thank Gordon and Jey for this. I love our authors. You will be introduced to 18 authors, including Jey
Yes.
and Gordon. And we'll give a shout out to Cleone Crawford, Erica Aguilar, Pamela Geiger, Judith Schoenwald, Ravi Kanagazadeh, Kiran Ray, Yuthaya Arumagam, Carlos Ramos Quinones, Alicia Young, Akil Balachandran, Lucy Ruth, Rob Lawrence, Andy Alberlin, Elliot Hiller, and my husband, Eric Chiasson, and Gordon and Jey. 18 authors, 18 stories. You will fall in love with the stories. You will fall in love with the authors that have put their words onto paper for all of you. So please join us next Tuesday, May 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be kicking off our
Yes.
Landed for Success book launch of Untold Stories. Jey and Gordon, you guys have quite an active schedule, and I appreciate you taking time out so we could hop here with all of these lovely people that are joining us live. For all of those that are going to hit us up on the replay, that appreciation goes to all of you as well. But what do you two gentlemen? We're going to be coming back this week. I will be coming back with Gordon, with Jey, again with them collectively together. And again, next week, there'll be interviews coming up with authors. You guys, it's really unbelievable. But to wrap up this morning, this beautiful Tuesday morning, a week away from the book launch, Gordon, what would you like to share with everybody?
Wow. Just show up, you guys. It's like a party, right? If COVID wasn't happening right now, we would have this live event somewhere in a hotel, probably. We all come together, we all celebrate, right? The authors get a chance to go on stage and do their version of a TED Talk. We record it, they use it for social media later for their business if they want. We have book signings. It's a celebration. So let's come together and celebrate our authors on Tuesday. I mean, each and every one of them is special, right? Their stories are unique. Their story is going to help someone. If I could just share a quick story,
please
really
do.
on why I love books and why I love our authors. Their story is so powerful. I remember, there's a book series that we did called Empowering Women to Succeed. And I had a contractor here one day. And just like this, you and I and Jey are having a conversation. Well, I was actually watching a conversation. I wasn't part of that conversation that day. I was watching a Facebook Live, and it was a friend of mine, Lisa, who was in the book, Lisa Bartello, and Randy Goodman. And I'm sitting there watching, and people don't know this. I'm actually blind in one eye, so I can't see. So there's a lot of time people think I ignore them. It's not. I just can't see them. And so the contractor had been standing behind me for over 10 minutes, and I didn't even know he was there because he stood on this side that I can't see. I got peripheral view here, but he stood there. And then when he finally, I could send somebody like, when somebody's standing there and feels like they're ready to break down and they're going to cry. Well, there's my rough, tough contractor, almost in tears. Hey, what's going on? He said, I hope you don't mind. I heard the conversation and I was listening to it. And he said, remember I disappeared for 2 weeks? You know how sometimes contractors disappear? He said, it was because I was having a problem and I couldn't tell you about it. And my wife, I don't know what the syndrome is called, but something had happened to her as a child that she has suppressed all the memories of abuse. And it just finally came back. And so he said, I've been dealing with that and I didn't know how to deal with it. And as I'm listening to these two individuals talk, it so resonated with me. Anyways, I didn't know what to do. So I said, would you like a copy of their book? And I gave them a copy of their book. And a few weeks later, he said, I don't even know if my wife would even read it. Like right now, if I try to explain anything or try to say anything, like she won't even want to listen. And he came back with a smile and he said, I gave her a copy of the book and she actually accepted it and she read it. So I don't know the rest of the story, but it was just amazing how, you know, when somebody says your story could impact and influence the life of someone, you just never know. You don't know how much your story, where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and someone's life that you could change. And I truly believe that all our amazing authors have amazing stories here that can touch someone's life. So I hope you guys don't just join. I hope you do join us. And as a favor again, buy a copy. Buy a copy for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming. I mean, what an amazing gift. We have Kelly, who's a mom. Wait till you read her story in the forward, right? You have Samantha, you have Pamela, you have Cleone. I don't want to leave out anybody. That's the problem whenever I say names. I have old age here. You can tell by the gray hair. So I always forget, right? But there's so like Uma, who's helping behind the scenes. There's so many moms in our community. If you guys are blessed to still have a mom in your life right now, like my friend Roman texted the other day, he had 2 pictures. You know, when and he had a screen on the computer and he had like incoming call mom, incoming call dad. And his caption was, if you still get a call like this today, feel blessed. Because some people don't have a mom and dad anymore, right? So I think it's a selfish reason for me to think that way, but buy a copy for Mother's Day, you guys. Okay?
Absolutely good. And I wanted to mention, because this is our first call, just letting our friends and family know that we are launching it on May 11th, but it's very important to know it didn't happen by itself.
No, not at all.
Team, like I have to say but we will have an expanded conversation about the stories because, like I said, this is only a short and the first one. There's many more to come. Lindsey, our editor, amazing. Yes. Believe me, we will have another live just to tell my story about experience working with Lindsey. Amazing yes. Editor was part of it. And another thing is, like Kelly mentioned, we just wrapped up the 14th virtual networking event. Right after the next day, we had John Chin. Guess what? He's writing the forward. I think we need another Facebook Live to talk about who's John Absolutely. Chin. What is the star power that he brings behind the Landed for Success name. So I'm just only like Uma with the graphics and Kelly being authorly. Like I'm only mentioning a couple of names, but this individual, the team behind Landed for Success, especially the book launch, phenomenal people. Like I have the utmost respect for Lindsey, John, Kelly, and Uma. Like, and I know I'm missing few people, but I know their names. But again, I don't want to let the cat out on the first live either, because we need to give the credit and where the credit is due, like individually honoring them. And I can tell you, like from the company point of view, you will get to meet our people. You will get to meet our editor. You will get to meet John, who's writing the forward. And I think I can put Kelly on the spot, and I can guarantee you the table will reverse, where Gordon and me will have a meeting with Kelly about the forward. Like once I read the forward that Kelly is writing on our book, like again, and I'm not going to give too much. I'm just wrapping up this by telling there is much more to come. We are not short of material here. We have not short of people who's behind the scene. And again, Uma, like Radhakrishnan, like what she's bringing and doing with the team, like what Gordon's talking about, 20,000 marketing. And I'm thinking it's much more than that of marketing.
Absolutely.
That the team is behind. Yeah, that's what I
Absolutely.
wanted to leave everyone. So this is a collaborative, not only of authors, the collaborative of team.
We could spend 2 days to thank everyone, right? And everyone who's watching know who you are, and we're very appreciative of that, right? We really are. There's so many people we could thank. But what I love, Jey, is the readers are going to love it. Yeah. The authors, the doors that will open up for them is incredible. At 1 o'clock, Pantia, she's been in 3 or 4 books. Fertility, anybody who's struggling with fertility, join me at 1 p.m. when we have the conversation with Pantia. So it's our authors. What I love is the things that they're going to be doing, the greatness that they're going to step into, Jey, is the conversations you and I have, right? Look, Dana, from some of our books, she started a book series with women who had all immigrated here to North America, a book of immigrant women and the successes that they have.
Yeah.
Mary did a book, which was incredible, another two of the collaborative author series. Right now you got Pantia doing her. So we know that from this group here, that the stuff that they're going to do, we have authors who have been authors with us, who are now saying, because of being an authorship with us, they're sharing stage with the Tony Robbins, Pitbull, Damon Johns, Mark Victor Hansen, and so on. So there's something here for everyone, right? And so one day, Jey, I can see some of our authors inviting us actually to be an author in their collaborative book series.
Yeah. So I wanted to tell you one more mention, Gordon. This is actually from my personal, Michael and Lindsey, what they
Michael Ballard, you say Michael Ballard and
yeah,
Lindsey Fischer,
Michael
yes,
Ballard and,
yes.
Lindsey Fischer. We sat down and we worked on the behind the scene with Amazon, right? Like
Yes,
constantly working with Amazon behind the scene. They literally teach me that takes people 72 hours of work. We did it in 72 minutes.
yes, yes,
Literally less than 72 minutes. So like what I'm saying is like the team behind is incredible, and the support that we are getting, some of them is not even part of Landed for Success, coming in and say, what can you do for, like Amit, for example. So like I said,
absolutely.
what I'm trying to say is the people who help us behind the scenes to get where we are, it's amazing. We are growing. And like you said, the second book is pretty near sold out. And we haven't even published the cover yet.
Yeah.
Which is good. So yeah, Kelly, thank you. So wrapping up from my side, May 11th at 10 o'clock, we are launching. It's happening. Come support us and join. It's an open platform. You can join, share your story.
Yeah. Invite some friends to the event page now, right? Invite 2 or 3 friends to come and join us.
The link is in the post, everybody. The link is also in the comments several times. If you're experiencing a challenge in doing so, oh, please, let us help you. Reach out to Gordon, reach out to Jey, message myself, and we will absolutely, I'll just drop you the link right into your messenger box, your text message, wherever you need it. We will send it. Is sharing is caring.
Yeah. And Kelly, they can join from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Let's say for argument's sake, your favorite author was speaking from 10 a.m. for 10 minutes, drop in for those 10 minutes.
That's right.
That makes sense. And support that you can be there for. I remember one of our book launch we did. I was actually in Vietnam on holidays, and I'm sitting on the beach, right? Tagging people and listening, like the stories of the individuals that came on that was telling and sharing their story. I went through a box of Kleenex. I'll promise you, next Tuesday, some of you, make sure when you join us, have a box of Kleenex, because some of these stories will make you cry, and some of these stories will inspire you. If you're going to buy a stock, I know people are talking about crypto. I'm not giving you advice. Buy Kleenex stocks right now, because on Tuesday, when you come and join us for the launch and you're watching and listening to some of these stories, right? You're gonna have boxes of Kleenex with you. If you're sitting there reading your book, drinking your favorite beverage, right? You're gonna need a box of Kleenex.
Yeah, definitely you will. It's that is a fact that he is sharing. So have something next to you, but definitely it is a, drop in, stay for as little or as long as you like, and definitely be able to, invite your family and your friends and your colleagues and your peers and come experience our launch day. It is very fun. This is a big deal for our authors. You can imagine, for those of you that have shared your stories, you know what that is, to put your words into paper and have it be like a physical reality. For those of you that haven't and have thought about it, and you're like, ooh, God, I don't know if I could do that. Well, then you understand what it took for these individuals that, for some, it was easy for them to write. For others, not so much, but they understood for them how necessary it was. And so they took the steps. So you can relate to what it might have taken a lot of the authors to actually come forward with their story. And just for that, please come in and support us. Incredible people, incredible stories. And we really would appreciate you doing us all a favor and helping us in our goal to hit #1 best-selling international authors. And we can do it. It's just we need a collective effort to help us get there. And I look forward to it. Gentlemen, we'll give a shout out. Let's see. Uma, great morning to you. You hopped in here. Samantha hopped in here.
Samantha.
Yeah, great morning to you. I'm going back and we've got a number of individuals that were tagged and that'll be catching us on the replay. So again, thank you for joining us. For those of you catching us on the replay, that appreciation is always extended to each and every one of you as well. And Jey and Gordon are co-founders for Landed for Success. Thank you for hopping on here this morning with me.
Thank you, Jey.
We will be back multiple times. So just covering different aspects of this book launch. Make sure you're tuning in and you can catch us live. This is fun and there is a lot of activity around this. So we're glad that we get to share it with all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Be sure to join us May 11th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the post. The link is in the comments. Message us to get it directly sent to you. Whatever it takes, we'll do it. Amazing. All right.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
You're
Kelly.
welcome.
Thank you, Jey. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.